Hi, I wanted to help people who are thinking about getting an HDHomeRun tuner or whether they should choose one in the first place in order to watch live TV from their antenna or to use DVR options associated with it. I'm not a professional YouTuber, and I'm kind of frustrated that I can't find any YouTube videos out there comparing some of the options with the HDHomeRun Tuner for people. So I'm going to try to make this quick and painless. I have 4 apps to compare: the actual silicon dust app from HDHomeRun Tuner itself, the channel's live TV app, or the channel's DVR app, depending which one you get, a Plex app with the tuner hooked into a Plex server, and the Ambi app with a tuner hooked into the Ambi server too. Until channel's DVR added TV Everywhere integration, I thought Ambi was the best solution to use for myself. So anyway, let's enter the HDHomeRun app. It's very simple, it works, but I stopped using it after a short time. So it tunes to the last channel automatically. On a Fire TV, if you hit the center button, the select button, the ribbon opens up on the right, and you can change channels this way. I get both the Syracuse and the Utica markets at my location near Syracuse, and you can just go back and forth. So like I have 2 NBCs. 3.1 is my local one and 2.1 is my Utica one. So you see the channel just comes up. If I go back by hitting the select button again, the ribbon comes up and I can slide to the right, and that'll open up and show you what's on later. So let me highlight elementary. It's a repeat naturally, but if I select that now here are all the options to record elementary on the different channels it's available on. And it's really only available on the sub-channels from Utica or Syracuse. 2.3 happens to be the CW on a Utica, and 3.2 is the CW on a Syracuse. So you can choose to record an episode individually, or you can kind of do current season and that kind of stuff. It's a little clunky, it's not the best, but it works. Now when you're watching something, to get to your recordings you have to hit the back button, and before it will exit it'll go to this screen, and this is where you can see your recordings. So let's enter the Orville and then slide down to the first episode of the 2nd season. Sorry, my camera shifted. So you'll see that first episode is 68.1, which is my local Fox, and I have no idea why the 2nd episode decided to record on 33.1 Fox on a Utica. And then we're back to 68 for a few episodes before going back to 31. To be honest with you, I gave up on this record engine pretty early. It was only $35 a year, wasn't a lot to invest in it, and I went on to try Plex and Ambi after this. So let's get out of here and I'll show you channels DVR or live TV. Remember, for just live TV you just need the app and the tuner. For the DVR you need something to run the DVR engine on. This is what I've tried last, and it's probably the best. Alright, so let's go to the guide. If I slide over, now here's a mixture of everything out of both markets. So we'll start the local CBS affiliate, and it just starts up. If I'm going to drop down, let's find a TV show. The Rifleman will work. I can record just the show, I can record the show with options, or I can create a pass. And what's nice is if you're recording a sporting event, The on time option is between 10 seconds early and 15 minutes early, but the end recording option goes from 10 seconds to 90 minutes or to 120 minutes, which is great if you're watching or you want to record something like the Super Bowl. You may set it for 90 minutes later so you don't miss anything. So the best part of this software, if you have the DVR engine running, is it allows you to add TV Everywhere integration from all the streaming services and all the traditional cable services. So you'll notice my last two channels are 68.1 and 68.2 from my locals, before it switches to Comedy Central, MTV, VH1, CMT, and BET, and TV Land, all from Philo. I also have Sling hooked in here, which gives me some channels that Philo doesn't, like MSNBC and National Geographic and FX and FXX. If two streaming services have the same channel, they're assigned the same channel numbers. So whichever service you set up first takes priority, and it will use the TV Everywhere credentials from Philo before it uses the TV Everywhere credentials from Sling to access it. So if you have Philo and you use the app, I think you can have a couple users with Philo. You can both be using it on separate devices, and this doesn't log into Philo. It takes your Philo credentials and it will log into, say, let's find one that's on Philo. It'll log into Comedy Central with your Philo credentials, and it's kind of like a third extra login. The bottom line is it just works. So if I slide down to recent, the up next is just the last show of whatever was recorded. If you slide down to the recently recorded, and let's go into Rehab Addict, I've been recording that off DIY with the Philo credentials. It'll show all the episodes that I've recorded so far. And you'll notice there's a little 25 in the upper right hand corner. There's 25 episodes recorded so far. I'm recording Fear the Walking Dead legally from the AMC TV Everywhere credentials of Philo. Sling also has AMC, but because the Philo tuner is listed first, it's getting it from Philo instead of Sling. Today's Homeowner is coming out of a local sub-channel from Utica. That show's not available in my Syracuse market. So TV Everywhere is a really nice addition to the channel's DVR engine, and it's the only option that adds that. Let's start Plex. I have a big movie library in Plex. I love Plex, but it's not the greatest for live TV. You'll notice it's a little slower. You have to be careful to move around the guide slowly. You can lose the highlighted part of the guide. Let's go up to 9.4. If I click into it, well, I can only record it because the guide didn't come up on the current time frame. We're an hour past where we should be. So now if I click in here, I can choose watch, and it will tune the channel. So I have no issues with the Plex DVR engine that works, but I don't like the guide, and there's a bug. If you don't scroll slowly and you scroll fast, you can lose the highlighted part like that, and when it comes back you don't see it because it's way off in right field someplace, and it takes you a while to find it, and it could have jumped a couple hours, it could have jumped 6 hours, and you have to bring yourself back. So if you want to record with Plex, it's fine. You can set up recordings, you can do it any way you want. The guide just isn't great for live TV viewing if you're moving around it fast. And then lastly, let's go into Ambi, which is what I was using as a DVR engine before I subscribed to Channels DVR, and I subscribed to Channels DVR because of the TV Everywhere integration. This is probably the nicest looking guide. It's got indicators for new shows. Let's go to the top. You'll see NASCAR says new in green, live in red, and HD in gray. If you click on it, you've got options to record series. Let's get to the current time frame. Click play, and it just starts. You can go up and access your recordings from the guide. You can resume or play fresh. And Ambi is just a great DVR engine. I can't say enough about it, and I'd still be using it if Channels DVR did not add the TV Everywhere integration. So my two choices would be Channels DVR or Ambi for the server functionality. If you just want to record your own over the air, either one's fine. I'd stay away from Plex to do that, even though I love Plex for the movies collection. And again, this or this, those two options are the only one that don't need a server or a standalone computer to watch your live shows. If you want a DVR, they all require some sort of device to act as the recording engine. Anyway, like I said, I'm not a professional YouTuber, and I'm sorry that I had to move the phone around a little bit. I've got it balanced on a tripod without a proper mount, but hopefully this will help people make up a decision on whether they should buy the HDHomeRun in the first place, or whether they want something more proprietary like a Tableau or an Amazon Recast or a Air TV DVR or a really proprietary DVR that might come from Channel Master. The HDHomeRun gives you a lot of options, and remember, there's the default app and the Channels app on both Android and iOS, and I believe Ambi is on both too. I know Plex is on both, so you can view all these on your phone also, where I'm not sure if that's the case with the Amazon Recast. It probably is for Tableau. The only downfall here is Channels is not fully featured on a Roku streaming device or TV. They do have a beta app right now. It doesn't show a live guide. It kind of shows you only, let's see if I can find it, only this on now type of view. So you can see your channels this way on a Roku through the beta app, but you don't see a live guide. And then when you go to your recordings on the Roku, you see the up next, but they don't have the recently recorded part yet where you can go to the individual episodes. So I haven't tried it. I have one Roku TV with a Fire TV hooked to it. So I only experiment just to see how the app is developing. Right now it's in beta and it's not fully featured, and you probably won't like it on a Roku. There is no default HDHomeRun app on a Roku. There is an Ambi and a Plex app, so if you're running the server, you can get live TV with a guide that way on the Roku, but not directly without the server software. Again, not a professional YouTuber, just want to try to get information out to be helpful with people who aren't sure what DVR device is right for them, and these are the options that I know of for the HDHomeRun Tuner, just because I've been experimenting with what might work best for me. Thank you and happy streaming.